Hi, today I'm going to be talking about how to read tablature. Tablature is special music written just for guitarists, and I think it was invented from what I've been told, by a country and western guitarist who didn't know how to read normal conventional music, so he invented his own system, which has now become what's known as tablature. It's very easy for guitarists to understand because you don't have to know any of the notes on the stave or know how to read rhythm in particular, but as long as you can understand how this system works, it's very easy for a novice guitarist or someone that doesn't know how to read music or write music to be able to write down their ideas, and also to be able to learn off other people's ideas that they've written down in this format. So if we have a look at the example I've got here on the screen, what you'll see is what looks like conventional music, but it's not actually. If you look on the left-hand side of what would normally be the stave, we've got the TAB written down there instead of the treble clef. So if you see treble clef written on a piece of music, you're probably looking at normal notation, not tablature. Okay, another distinguishing difference between tablature and normal notation is that normal notation has 5 lines. And on this diagram you'll notice we've got 6 lines. Now, just like on our chord diagrams, the 6 lines that went down the page, vertically down the page, were pictorial representations of our strings on the guitar. And it's the same with our tablature as well. So each of these 6 lines represent the 6 strings on the guitar. And the bottommost line is the 6th string. Remember from my other tutorials, the 6th string is always the fattest string. Alright, and the 1 string is the skinny string on the guitar. So the line at the top represents the first string, or the E string. The second line down from the top represents the B string, or the second string. The third line down is the 3rd string, or the G string. The 4th line down is the 4th string on the guitar and the D string. The 5th line is the A string on the guitar, and once again the lowest line on the diagram is the E string. And if we look at a video, I'll show you a video here of the guitar alongside of the tablature diagram, and you'll notice how it's as if we're looking over the top of the guitar, like we do when we're holding the guitar. We're looking down onto the low fat E string, the 6th string, and just imagine that the diagram is orientated the same way. I hope that makes sense. It can be a little bit hard to understand, but that's basically how the guitar lines up with this diagram. You can see how the tab is actually like a pictorial reference of the guitar itself. Now, what we've also got on the tablature is these group of numbers going down through the music, through the tablature. The first number we come to is the 5, and you notice that's sitting right on top of the 6th string, which is the low fat one. Okay, 5th fret. So what that 5 means is we play the note behind the 5th fret. And you'll see here a video of me holding my finger on the 5th fret. The next number we come to is 6, so obviously that means to play the note behind the 6th fret. And then the 7th, so we play the note behind the 7th, and then the 8th. Okay, so we play those first 4 beats: 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, what we do when we come to the next part in the music, and obviously with just like writing and reading normal music, we're reading from the left to the right. I should have mentioned that before. So we're playing the notes in succession from left to right, so one after the other from left to right. Alright, so we've just played 5, 6, 7, 8 in that first bar. What we're going to do now is go to the 5th string, or the A string. Okay, we've now located a finger on that A string, and we're once again going to play 5, because that's the note behind the 5th fret. Don't get confused, because that is on the 5th string, but so we're doing 2 things with 5. We're playing on the A string, which is the 5th string, and the 5, which is indicated on the diagram, is telling us to play the note behind the 5th fret. So make sure you don't get confused with that. So we're playing on the 5th string behind the 5th fret. And then we go to 6, 7, and 8. And then we continue on to the next bar. And once again we've got 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we go to the next little groupings of notes, we've got on the 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the G string. So that's the 3rd string. 3rd string from the top, 3rd string from the skinny string, which is the 1st string on the guitar. So I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'm quite happy to help you out with any questions you might have with that. And that's the basics of how to read some tablature. And obviously it can be more complicated and more detailed, but that's the basic idea of what's going on there. Just one other point to make clear. If you've got 2 notes sitting on top of one another, that's indicating that you play those 2 notes together at the same time, rather than one after the other. So if it's right on top, you're playing an interval or 2 notes together, or even a chord. It could be more than 2, could be 3, could be up to 6 notes sitting on top of one another. If you ever see a 0 on the tab, the 0 means to play that string with an open fretting, which means to play it with no fingers at all on that particular string. So we've got open, we've got stacking the notes on top of one another, which means to play those notes together at the one time. So that's the basis of the whole concept. There are other more complicated little symbols that are involved with tablature, but that's just the basic overview of how to work this system. So like I said, if you've got any questions, feel free to email me or shoot me a YouTube comment, and I'll quite happily answer any of your questions. Thank you.